Now, businesses in Malaysia's southern state of Johor have been adapting to new norms brought about by the pandemic. Travel with Singapore has now partially resumed, but they are still smarting from the loss of customers while borders were closed. And they've had to re-strategise and shift their focus to domestic consumers instead. Afifa Arifin reports.
For decades, this eatery in the heart of Johor Bahru has been one of the more popular jaunts frequented by customers from across the causeway. But that stopped when Malaysia closed its borders due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Banafi sales slumped by almost 70%. To keep the business afloat, the restaurant has had to shift its focus, catering to the domestic market instead. This includes lowering the prices on its menu and finally turning to food delivery platforms online.
Due to this pandemic, we automatically open up our eyes, that we need this online Grab or whatsoever, to be in the system. We never knew, we never want to have that online before because we don't need them. But this pandemic taught us how important is this online system to be in our business right now in order to survive. So it's such a culture shock for us, like wow.
The hospitality industry in Johor was also forced to look inwards. United Malayan Hospitality, which owns 2 hotels and residences in JB, has been working closely with travel agencies and booking platforms, offering staycation packages to attract local tourists. Its occupancy rates, which plummeted to nearly zero after March's lockdown, is now slowly recovering to about 60%.
This was a tough period, and we try to keep our spirits up by getting our rooms thoroughly clean and plan on ways to tap the domestic market when travel within Malaysia was allowed. We hope the causeway will be open for leisure travel, as most of our business is from Singapore holiday makers. However, domestic travel will still be our current bloodline.
The borders between the neighbouring countries are partially reopened, but businesses say that will not have any major impact for them, as leisure travellers are still not able to enter Malaysia. And so as they await a full border reopening, some commercial spaces are using this lull period to revamp themselves. For instance, JB's City Square, which is located just a stone's throw away from the checkpoint, is upgrading certain sections of the mall to introduce fresh concepts. It also plans to bring in new local and international retailers.
Even in such times, what we are seeing is that there are a lot of new leases being signed, which means the retailers themselves have confidence that the mall still has potential. Like they say, never waste a good crisis. So this is the time to sort of correct what you can, improve wherever possible, and also put in new practices and elements which are all at the end of the day going to benefit the shopper.
Cross-border travel between Singapore and Malaysia resumed on Monday. But under the periodic commuting arrangement, only 2,000 people are allowed into Malaysia per day, while only 400 people are allowed in per week under the reciprocal green lane. The two countries are also discussing implementing other safe cross-border commuting proposals, which would cover compassionate visits and daily work. Afifa Arifin, CNA.